Sanding sucks. You know it. I know it. There's an alternative to that. Stay tuned. We'll show you what a card scraper is all about. Yeah, sanding is a necessary evil in the shop. It's something we all got to do, and it's great for putting a final finish on a surface. It's great for getting things smooth. The downside of it, of course, is the dust everywhere. Unless you got a good dust extractor on it, you're constantly changing paper. If you take off a little too much material, you got to fix the fact that you created your own divot in your materials and all that. So, yeah, sanding is a necessary evil in the shop. Everybody's got to do it. It's an integral part of woodworking. Go ahead and do it and get good at it. But what I prefer to do, if I can, is I'll get a card scraper out instead. You learn how to sharpen and put a nice edge on a card scraper, and it's going to take off things like, look at this extra finish that I've got spilled on my bench here. I've got a nice hook on the edge of my scraper here. I can flex it a little bit. I can get my angle in there, and watch what it's going to do to that stuff. It's going to take off all that finish that I didn't want there in the first place. Look at how that cleans it up. All my sawdust is right there at the end. I'm not having it get airborne. I'm not having to breathe it in. And once I've sharpened this up right, it'll do just as good a job as a random orbit disc sander is going to do. All you got to do is learn how to use it. I can show you how to do that. You get it sharpened up. Look at how much that cleaned that up. In about half the time it would have took me to sand that off there. So get a good card scraper. Use it. Learn how to put that burr on the end. We've got videos down the line that we can show you how to sharpen a card scraper on. Just look that up on our site and go ahead and get using on a card scraper. I don't think there's a project that ever leaves my shop that hadn't had a card scraper somehow come into action for it and help improve the finish on that piece. That's what a card scraper will do for you. Man, when you're scraping off finish off a project that you're redoing, if you're scraping off glued that's dried on, it really is a great way to go.
Some of your viewers have asked if it leaves divots in there because you're curving the blade. Can you talk about that, Sam?
No, it doesn't leave divots in there at all. Look at how little we're taking off of there. There's not enough coming off there to leave the divot in there. Not at all. So it's what the divot does is it just allows you to flex that sharp edge in there and get it to cut a little better. But it's not taking off but thousandths of an inch. It's not taking off enough to even leave a divot in there. It needs a nice clean surface. And oftentimes, if you get to the point where you can really sharpen this well, it'll leave a finish ready surface. Your surface is ready for finish. You don't have to do anything else to it. You know, this is what they used before sandpaper was invented. They would get a good sharp piece of steel and they would card scrape it down to get their finished surface done and be able to put their finish on directly after that. So card scrapers have been around for a long time. They've done a great job. There's tools out there now that can help you sharpen them. They just do a great job. I just prefer using them.
Now, card scrapers are not obscure. Isn't it like Stanley that even has like a scraper plane or something like that?
Yeah, Stanley's got a scraper plane. If we turn around here and grab this one, this is a number 80 Stanley, and it's called a cabinet scraper. And all it does is it takes my hand from holding it like this to holding it like this. So the hand position is almost the same. It's just that this is a little more stout in terms of the thickness of the blade, and it does exactly the same thing. It's going to go in there and it's going to scrape that stuff off. Do exactly the same thing. Just a little different tool.
And the curvature on this one has a control unit as well.
Well, there's a control here because this is what you turn this in to cause that blade to flex, just like I was doing with my card scraper here when I'm doing it with my thumbs. This tool has that built into it right here. Another version of a card scraper is up here on the bench, Stanley number 12. Actually, this is a 12 and a half. Same thing as a 12, only it has the rosewood sole on the bottom of it. I can adjust the angle of my blade here. The only thing this doesn't have, it doesn't have the ability to curve that blade. So if I set my number 12 on this, I can go ahead and do exactly the same thing. Scrape that surface down. These are great if you're having to refinish a piece of furniture and take a whole bunch of stain off. You can really get through with that. So a 12 and a half, there's a number 80. There's a regular card scraper. There's actually even versions of it that are scraper planes that look almost like a hand plane, only it's got a scraper blade in it. So easy ways to scrape it. fun ways to avoid having to sand your stuff. And again, if you sharpen them right, they're going to leave a great finish that is ready to be stained and finished and ready to go. So card scrapers versus sanding, they'll both do the same sort of job. It's just a lot easier to do it with the card scrapers than it is with the sander. As far as I'm concerned, I prefer to use the card scraper. And like I said, every project that goes out of my shop has had an interaction with a card scraper. Love them.